So for the second part of today's lesson, we're going to have a look at reflections. Okay, so again, this should be a recap of things that you've done in year 8, and hopefully you can remember how to do different reflections. It's also building on your prior knowledge of equations of straight lines as well, but only really the basic ones that you need to know for that. So just a quick recap of what reflection means, and it's another type of transformation. So there are 4 different transformations. We looked at translations earlier, and we will also look at enlargements and rotations coming up soon. Okay, a reflection is where an object is flipped. So it's exactly the same size and shape, but it is a mirror image of it. So it will look the opposite way round. Okay, and we have to describe reflections using a line of symmetry. So there will be potentially marks for drawing a reflection if they give you the information, or you would have an exam question where you've got the object and the image, and you have to describe the transformation. So you would get a mark for saying reflection, you'd get a mark for saying the mirror line is, etc. Okay, so usually a couple of marks for these types of questions. Right, if you want to give this one a quick go, all right, and when you're happy with it, then you can hit play and I'll go through exactly how to do it with you. Right, so for this question, it wants you to transform the triangle in the diagram, okay, with a reflection in the line y equals x. Hopefully you can remember the line y equals x means where the y coordinate is equal to the x coordinate. So for example, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on. So if we were to draw that line to start off with, it's going to be the red line on the diagram at this point. Now, ideally, if you're in the classroom situation, you would have some tracing paper to do this. If you've got any sort of thin paper at home, that would be useful, but you can do it without actually using tracing paper. But in an exam, I would always advise you to make sure that you use tracing paper to help you with this. Okay, so what we're aiming to do is to flip the shape over the line, but tracing paper, as we say, makes it easier. So if you pop your tracing paper on top of the diagram, you then need to draw the diagram and the mirror line exactly where they are. Okay, you would then pick up your tracing paper, turn it over, and line it up with the line of symmetry and then draw the shape. Obviously, if you haven't got the tracing paper or anything useful like that at home, what you can do is turn your page so that the mirror line is going vertical in front of you. Okay, so going straight up. And then or if you can look at the screen at this point and turn your head slightly so you're looking at it as if it was going straight up. The top corner of this triangle here is half a square to the mirror line, so you're going to go half a square in the other direction. Okay, this bottom corner down here is a whole square diagonal and then a whole square diagonal. So from the mirror line, you're going to go 2 whole squares diagonal to draw it, and so on. So you can plot it that way so that you can see where the new shape is. But it is that quite straightforward, and typically they're not usually that nice in an exam to give you a reflection, okay, because it really is deemed to be quite a low grade topic at this point, but it can come up. So we're going to cover it just in case. All right, so therefore our finished diagram would look like that one. Right, the alternative thing then is where they give you, as I said, the object and the image, and you need to write down what the equation of the line of symmetry is. So if they were to just give you that diagram, they could ask you to describe the transformation. So your first mark would be, well, it's a reflection, because we can see the original image is exactly the same as the new image, except it's been turned around. In this case, it does look exactly the same. So a mark for reflection. The second mark then is for your mirror line. Now, it's always easier to draw the mirror line on and then to figure out what it is. So the mirror line is there. It is crossing the x-axis at the value of 1. So every coordinate on this line is 1 something. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 4, etc. So the equation of the line is x equals 1. All right, so remember a mark for reflection and a mark for the equation of the line of symmetry is x equals 1 would get you 2 marks in an exam. All right, give this one a go and then hit play when you're ready for me to go through it with you. Okay, so for this one, the equation of the line of symmetry, so remember a mark for reflection, my line of symmetry is there. This time it's a horizontal line, it's crossing the y-axis at 1, so my equation is y equals 1. And if we have a look at this one again, have a go and hit play when you're ready for me to give you the answer. So if we draw our mirror line on, it's at this point here, so it's crossing the x-axis. Well, this value here is 1 and it's in the middle, so it's going to be x equals a half or x equals 0.5. Right, one more. Again, hit play when you're ready for me to go through it. Hopefully you can see the mirror line on this one is going to be a diagonal mirror line. And therefore, if we have a look at the coordinates, we've got 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on. So it's the line y equals x. Now, typically, because it's a reflection question, they're not going to be asking you any complicated equations of lines. So 95% of the time, it is a y equals, an x equals, or y equals x. There's no y equals mx plus c's for these types of questions. It's usually much easier than that. Okay, right, you've got a My Math task set on this one. It shouldn't take you that long. So give it a go and make sure you're trying to get above 70%, otherwise give it another try. Remember to use the help sheet if you need help with anything at all.